There's nothing Boomer Magic players love more than blue-white control with as little win cons as physically possible. All right, welcome back, MTG Gamers, to off-stream recording. A bit of a test environment here. We're gonna go for a true control deck. Maybe not a true control deck. A specific kind of attempt at a control deck. One that I've been trying to figure out how we could make work. This is like a big blue control deck featuring the most powerful pseudo draw spells printed in recent memory with 4 flow state and 4 stock up. So I'm going to try to use flow state and stock up as a means to facilitate a heavy force of will and force of negation controlling game plan. Because the logic here is if I play all of these 2-for-1 forces, I need to regain my card advantage. And the best way to do that is with these flow states and stock ups. So I'm going to go with the full 8 forces and mind break traps. And then I'm going to play the flow states and stock ups. Instead of playing ponders, we're going to go with the full Lorien revealed set. So with that, we have, a pretty wide selection of sorceries and reactive instants. To go with reactive instants, we also have 3 swords and an erode. We're trying to play erode this time, just as an extra way to answer like a problematic planeswalker if we want to. As well as some sorcery answers in prismatic ending. I am going to play a blue-white base deck here, but I will have off-color Moxen to facilitate hitting 3 or 4 mana cards. And then I'm going to play the full set of Moxen plus Mana Crypt and Soul Ring, because we are going to try to cast these flow states and stock ups and help these off-color Moxen enable our Lorien revealed. It actually all flows together pretty nicely and allows us to play Lurrus. I will, of course, still play the Brainstorm, Probe, Misstep, and Ancestral. Probe, Misstep are some of the best ways to enable flow state. I have a one-of answer in Dress Down for Lurrus loops and problematic cards like Urza Saga. And then I'm going to try out 2 mana drains. I don't think our deck is like the best mana drain deck because we don't have a tons of ways to pump using the colorless things. And we all are still going to be playing off-color Moxen and that kind of card. So I don't know that we want to have more mana drains, but we actually could. The thing with mana drain, it doesn't play like super well with the tap out draw spells of flow state and stock up, but it does enable them pretty well. So it could be true that this should be like a 4 mana drain setup here, but we're gonna go with 2 to start. And then to win the game, I have Lurrus, I have Urza Saga, and I also am gonna play 2 Wan Tongs, which allow us to play at instant speed, give us a mana sink for our mana drain. And I think just the best way to win the game with our Lurrus and overwhelming card advantage. If someone has a better win con, I don't know, maybe a spell or something, then let me know. But I think this makes the most sense as a way to close out the game. You could also play things like, in Legacy they play Tamiyo very often, but I don't really like Tamiyo in Vintage. I don't want to turn on removal spells in a meaningful way. And I think, just getting the overwhelming card advantage into Lurrus, Wan Tong, and Urza Saga, that should be enough. I'm going to try playing a Library of Alexandria in this list, as well as an Urza Saga and a Strip Mine. We are going to have pretty solid mana with our 4 Tundra, 2 Island, and 4 Lorien revealeds, I hope. So I'm expecting to be able to get a little bit of versatility outside of my utility land section, and all of these colorless lands still Lorien revealed for basic island. In the sideboard, I did include the basic planes for when we do find that, being able to cast multiple removal spells matters. And then our sideboard actually is mostly white cards, just the most powerful haymakers of all time to hit the problematic matchups. Things like Containment Priest, over encumbered for the Dredge matchup, the additional Swords to Plowshares, the 2 Stony Silences, we could play more, 2 Serenities for the Sphere Chomps matchup. So we have a lot of like the biggest heavy hitters we can in white here in the sideboard, and also all cards that play really well with Lurrus. So because our game 1 here is going to be Abysmal versus Dredge, but hopefully that's not too big of a deal in the currently evolving metagame of Vintage, which should feature less Dredge as we go on, even though that's, never really happened. Even when Dredge is putting up 30% win rates, it's still going to get played 10% of the metagame, so we'll see. This is like I said, a historically, blue control deck, so it's always going to be like a 0%er to win against game 1 Dredge. That's just kind of how it works when you don't play things like multiple wastelands in the main. Or, you know, oops, I win spells. This is the deck is going to have very little oops, I win. We're going to try to grind out our victories in a slow and methodical way. These kind of decks really do punish awkward hands, and also they punish like slight missteps from the pilot perspective. So I will have to try to keep my wits about me here as I walk through this off-stream Vintage League. I'll see you in round one. I am happy to announce the dates for high-stakes, proxy-friendly Vintage in 2026. The legendary NYSE returns to Long Island in New York on June 6th. This $500 entry fee tournament will pay out 8 pieces of unlimited power. The Oklahoma Land Run returns in 2026 on July 10th through 12th at the Reed Convention Center in Oklahoma City. Play Friday Team Trios, Saturday Legacy for a Mox Sapphire, and Sunday Vintage for a Mox Emerald. Event links can be found in the description below. I hope to see you there. Let's battle. All right, welcome to round one versus PS17. I've got a cat. I've got counter magic. I do have fully off-color Mox and Ruby and slightly off, not off-color Mox and Pearl, but I feel like blue is about the only Mox I can really consider on color here. The good news is our slightly off-color Moxen is one that lets us cast Lurrus. None of these things are casting mana drain, or like negation or trap, so I'm just going to go with the basic island, and I'm going to go buy Lurrus here. I get it nice and early into my hand. Obviously, you want to play Lurrus extremely late in this deck. It's going to be your late game win condition, but I don't see myself like waiting and then going for Meticulous Archive, so of course, I immediately pair up against Dredge, and my hand doesn't counter a grief, so if my Lurrus wants to get taken away, it can. We did talk about how, Dredge is very much out of favor inside of Vintage Challenges, but this is a Vintage League, and people will play Dredge against you no matter what. So we're going to have to use our classic control game one of a 0%er to play against, to just take a loss here, and then hopefully in our sideboard with Containment Priests and Over-Encumbered Needle and Lantern, we can overcome the game one loss. There's just very much almost no way our deck can really play against Dredge game one. Not without full 4 Wastelands or an Oops I Win condition or something like that. Bloodghast, huh? Bloodghast Dackmore Salvage. Classic Wind Trader Dredge. That might be a reference that people do not understand. For a while, there was a problem on Magic Online where there were bots in the vintage queues trying to win trade their way to profitability. And they would frequently register a very old Dredge list that costs very little money. This is not exactly that list, because unmasks are actually quite expensive. But that's what it reminded me of. Yes, 7-card Double Bazaar hand. It looks like a no-force deck. It looks like all griefs and unmasks. And then 4 Noxious Revival, Dalkmore Salvage, Petrified Field. So a very interesting version of Dredge here. I'm glad we let it play out. Bloodghast, not a typical card for Dredge, but if you're going to play this many lands, then maybe. It looks like they are also including Wastelands in the main. So very odd Dredge list here. Looks like a Dredge list that'll be pretty weak to Over-Encumbered, which is nice. So I'm going to bring in Lantern, Over-Encumbered, and Containment Priest, possibly even Swords to Plowshares, because we're going to have so many dead counter spells, because all of our Mindbreak traps and all of our negations are just straight up dead cards. Trying to figure out what my last one out is going to be here. Mana Drain seems pretty rough too. So if we can get to a spot where we are protecting our Over-Encumbered, it might be useful. Mental Misstep is only really good if I'm strip mining their Bazaar. Probe is pretty bad in general. I should be able to check Probe. We are losing a lot of blue cards there. Let's take a quick blue count. 4, 10, 14, 18, 22, 25 still. So not bad. All right, so sideboard matches our games 2 and 3. This is a strip mine hand, but no extra pieces. I think that's not good enough. In game 1, I would have kept this, but in game 2, this is not going to be good enough. Let's mulligan. This is turn 1 Lorien revealed with no force backup. I guess I could just get rid of my land drop and then play it with force backup. Oh, this is also just like buy Lurrus, play Lurrus turn 1. If I keep my land. It's not a bad idea, considering all of our deck at this point is answers and draw spells. Try it. I think I have to get rid of one of my forces here, and hopefully I don't have to force, but we'll see. I should probably have led... definitely Lotus second. There could be traps post board. I kind of doubt it, but there could be. I'm just going to get a Tundra here. My opponent wants to spend time wastelanding me. That's okay. So I didn't see any forces in game 1, so I don't expect to see it to force, but I could get Mind Break trapped if my opponent decided to bring in Mind Break traps against the full control deck. Which is another reason why I think this play makes a lot of sense. The only downside here is, you know, if I get my... I guess if I get griefed, like, I just let them take one of these cards and it's not the end of the world. I could, of course, cycle my Lorien Revealed for a Meticulous Archive. That actually is probably the correct. Let's just cycle this Lorien Revealed for a Meticulous Archive. We still have Lotus to play from the yard, and this will help us find cards that we need. And I don't really care about force at this point, so... I will have to find something quick, but like I said, I can use Meticulous Archive to bin Containment Priest, all of my hate pieces, basically. So it's a huge advantage. Opponent milled over, or removed, discarded Dakmor Salvage, Icarid, Bloodghast. And we hit Tundra to start, not very good. Meticulous Archive, mills over Encumbered, perfect. So now I can play Over Encumbered out of my yard. Though my opponent can use Dakmor Salvage to start getting rid of these over-encumbered tokens, which is actually kind of cool. This is not a lock versus my opponent's deck that has Dakmor Salvage, so... We're in for the long haul here. But that is the whole idea that I had played right there with Meticulous Archive, getting Meticulous Archive and that kind of thing. So I assume my opponent will dredge the Dakmor Salvage and then bring back the Bloodghast. And then once they get to 2 Dakmor Salvages, they can start sacking. Oh, they found a second Dakmor Salvage immediately. Okay. So they're a couple turns away from starting to be able to crack these things, but... Oh, they just instead play Bazaar of Baghdad. Interesting. And they pitched to Dakmor because it's their Dredger. Interesting. I don't know what their plan exactly is, because they do need to get rid of the artifacts to start attacking. Or I guess not get rid of artifacts, they could just pay for each artifact as well, but that requires a lot. A second over encumbered. That's going to really slow down the game. They do have Force of Vigor in their deck, so they can make a big army and then Vigor the 2 that matter, and then it will be hard for me to bring them back. This thing can't block, so I'll get my life total up here. The best card for me to hit is by far Stock Up and Flow State. I have about 1 million mana, and I have an instant and sorcery in my yard already. So I like this spot. My opponent needs to stop dredging and start drawing towards Vigor, I think. Because they're going to have to like kill these and have a big, huge board and attack me for lethal. Because I will be able to rebuy them after as well. I think they could, like I said, they could naturally dredge back the Dakmor Salvage because they want to get those in play to start cracking clues At any point, they can crack the junk tokens, obviously. Those are free. But these all, the foods and clues cost 2 each. So here comes the Dakmor Salvage. No reason not to bring back Bloodghast. Activates in response. Doing some more dredging. I mean, if they already have a Vigor, then this makes a lot of sense. But if they don't already have a Vigor, no, they're already at 1 card. I don't think Creeping Chill is getting you there. We'll see. Containment Priest. These Narcomoebas can block, though, so we are now stuck. But my opponent will also have... I guess I'm just supposed to put this in play now. Just in case... I don't know. I guess I should have... I mean, there's only one Narcomoeba that can come back, and the Bloodghast couldn't come back right away, so maybe I just wait. Not sure. They dredged another chill. Oh, there's amalgams as well, but those would be on trigger, so I don't know. Strip mine. Strip mining a Dakmor Salvage does not do a whole lot. I can attack with Containment Priest because... Oh, there's already an Narcomoeba in the yard. I can attack with Containment Priest and I just replay it. And there's really nothing my opponent's going to do to stop it, so... They're just going to take the 2. Yeah, it makes sense. I'm not going to strip mine the Dakmor Salvage because it doesn't really slow this game down in a meaningful way. Maybe I should. Oh, they have the Vigor immediately. When did they get this? There's still a Containment Priest in play, so it's not like this changes the game. They must have had a Vigor in their hand the whole time, and they kept it as their 1 card. That must be what happened here. The good news is Containment Priest keeps these Icarids at bay, so my opponent has to win with these cards, and then at the next turn, I just bring back my over-encumbered. Okay, interesting. Well, that all worked out kind of as intended, so that's a very weird game. This is kind of the perils of not playing blue pitch counters in your dredge deck. You don't have a lot of choice if your opponent just plays a bunch of broken things on turn 1. In this case, a cat. Can we do it again? That's a question that I am not sure I know the answer of, because the number of cards we have that matter are just so small. They're just so small. But yeah, like I said, my opponent can go to end step and over encumber, so I can't bring it back right away. So I just need to make sure I can't die. So if I didn't have a Containment Priest, I might have died there. It's possible. This is a Strip Mine and a Swords. And then my opponent is probably going to grief me. Double basic island, huh? Not really ideal, because it doesn't push me to Lurrus. I'm probably just supposed to mulligan this hand. This looks a lot better. Doesn't have anything in it, but at least it has action. I don't think my opponent even brought in an answer to to Containment Priest. No Dredger here. No swords in my hand, though. Let's just do Black Lotus stock up. There's a swords and a library. I don't think I can get on library in this game because this could be 7. I'll go down to 6. It's kind of unfortunate. I'm gonna have the swords, so I guess it's just Swords and Soul Ring. And then... I did not bring in plain... Oh, they have Vigor? Oh. That pause made me think they had Vigor, so maybe I should not have gone Soul Ring. If they have Vigor, it's pretty bad for me, so I probably shouldn't have gone Soul Ring there. I guess at least I can cycle my Lorien Revealed. I don't know. It's just like super hard for me to get onto library, so... Hmm. I think every life point's gonna matter here, so... This Wan Shitong is a 3/3, right? It's probably worse than drawing 3 with Lorien Revealed. Though I want to get to Lurrus as well. Oh, Strip Mine. I'm glad I didn't get a basic, I guess. Alright, in that case, I think I just cycle my Lorien Revealed and go get another one. Again, I still think I want Tundras because of Lurrus. Maybe I don't need to because I have a Pearl. But I think I'm getting Vigored. I'm pretty sure I'm getting Vigored here. Yeah, that's super unfortunate. I'm really far away from casting anything here. Yeah, I'm probably just lost. What could I have done differently? They're not even activating? What does that mean? It means they have another spell they want to cast. Wonder what that means. Noxious, maybe? Why not? Can always block with this one, Shitong. Swords is good. Are you activating now? No. Why are we not activating? What are we holding? We're holding removal? We're holding Force of Vigors? Are you holding Force of Vigor to block? For a land for me? Okay, Mox works. Stock up. Soul Guide, Lantern, Containment Priest. Wow. I think I just like land containment, land Soul Guide Lantern. Because I can still rebuy this later, and I mean, at some point I can get to Lurrus, right? This just eats the Icarid. I guess it could trap. They could have trap still. One thing I need to be careful of is like buying Lurrus and then getting it griefed. Okay, they were holding on to another Vigor. I think I'm not gonna be able to do that, so. But they shouldn't have access to a thing because they should be activating here at end step and then going and trying to dredge through. Let's see if they hit a dredger. They hit Bazaar and no dredger. Upkeep activate. So now we can buy Lurrus and we should be safe. They also have Sickening Soul, Unmask. All right, we should be in a great spot here. I just buy Lurrus and then I am in the clear. They didn't even keep Sickening Shoal. They're just going full trying to dredge, but they're not going to make it in time. There's a Stinkweed Imp and an Icarid. That one dredged 2 chills. Oh, I might just die to chills. If I hit a land this turn, I get to get a Soul Guide Lantern and I should win. But if I don't hit a land, I might just die. All right, cool. Should be a win then. I don't know if I like the way my opponent played this game out. I think they had other options. This can hit the Icarid. And then I think I just have to wait. Can I afford to wait? If I wait, they could just natural dredge and then dredge in response. How many chills are left? There's only 1 chill left. So I think I can just I think I can just activate then. Because then they get just one activation plus natural dredge. Dredge 5. Hit one Narcomoeba. 2 Icarids. And then we just rebuy Lantern on an Icarid. And I gain some life back, and I should be in a good spot. And I think I'm actually just supposed to keep hitting this yard. I think it's too hard to wait. I'm going to be able to eat this Icarid with a One-Chi-Tong as well. There's another... Yeah. Well, they're always dredging a Stinkweed Imp, so... There's 2 prized amalgams. And then I can just cast this One-Chi-Tong, and we're good. I'm not sure that I'm supposed to win that game in the abstract without, like, both players involved, but... I put up a pretty good fight, so... Alright, now I don't think this is very losable. Yeah. Wow, that was it was a cool match. We were able to take our 0% game 1 win percentage and still win that anyways in the classic control deck fashion. It might not be enough, I'm not gonna lie to you. I might need to put even more. We're on 2 priest, needle lantern, 2 encumbered. That might not be enough if you think there's gonna be legitimate dredge percentages. But I like it. It was fun. All right, here we go. Looks like a immediate reap match into Dredge, and we're on the draw. The only silver lining here is we know it's Dredge, so we can try to mulligan to our 1 strip mine. But it's looking pretty bad for us. I mean, this hand at least does something. Just gonna take it. It's not a good place to be when our deck that doesn't beat Dredge game 1 pairs into Dredge twice. Didn't get... The good news is we have a great idea of what our opponent's playing this time, but the bad news is we're so far behind that I don't know that it matters at all. In terms of like their weird Dredge list. I will just take extra mana and a swords. We're gonna need the swords for sure. Unfortunately, this is gonna be an overwhelming number of monsters and horrors and jellyfish, vampires. Also kind of feel like my opponent might just have 2 Bizarres again. Right, forgot. They play Wasteland. Returning 2 Bloodghasts, yeah. This is so much stuff. And there's an amalgam coming as well. Okay, I'm gonna go get another... I guess I'll get a basic island, because I do have a white source inside of my pearl, but maybe that's not enough. Swords will turn on flow state, which is something. But I just don't think I have enough cards to play... Oh god, they have Unmask too. I don't think I have enough cards to play out this kind of game. I took the flow state. Yeah, I mean, I have so many bad cards, right? Also, fetching island means I can't play Lurrus. Oh, no, it doesn't. I have on-color Jet and Pearl. That's pretty good. The problem is, super Dredge. Wow, 3 black cards. Yeah, that's not good. And they still get the Dredge 5. And they hit a bunch more black cards. I don't even know what card I could possibly hit. Ancestral into Time Walk, Lotus stuff. It's not going to do it. All right, well, same issues are all still present here. Same answers are coming in, but my opponent now has a great grasp of what I'm bringing in from sideboard, so there's some value for them there. Yeah, not much I can do about that whole part of this. And okay, we'll probe. So, like I said, we gotta find our hate pieces. We gotta pick off their creatures with our exile removal, and hope it's good enough. Okay. This one's acceptable. We didn't see Mindbreak Traps, so I'm not gonna play around that. I will play around Unmasked and stuff, and I won't probably play around Vigor. If I get Vigored, I get Vigored. That's kind of interesting, though. I kind of like the idea. So it's like so hard to buy Lurrus because of... Yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go with stock up and try to find a force. Found a force. Oh, interesting. I could play Ruby and get a Soul Guide Lantern down now. I don't even think that's worth it. I think I'd rather just have access to my second white source. Okay, I mean, I got an Ancestral Hand, I got a ton of mana, I have a Soul Guide Lantern, and a Swords, and Force, and Misstep, so I mean, this has got to be a pretty playable spot. Icarid, Stinkweed Imp. What was this, a 7-carder from the opponent? Yeah, 7-carder. Just gonna counter this with Drain. I don't think it's... I guess I can just counter it with Misstep, because there's not very many Misstep things I'll care about from this spot. Okay, so now I have access to Drain and Lantern and Brainstorm. Let's get this land in play, and then let's cast Flow State. Force stock up Wanshitong? Sure, I'm gonna take this Wanshitong. And then I'll play a Soul Guide Lantern with Drain backup. I'm just gonna take their Dredger. If they want to like bring back one Icarid or whatever, that's fine. I have swords, so. And if they play a Force of Vigor, I have a Drain. Okay, they're gonna bring back one Icarid, and then they're gonna activate. Again, I have swords, so I don't really care. That being said, this is a prized amalgam and an Icarid, so I think the answer here is to just take away these cards from their yard. And then I still swords this thing. And like at some point, I just lost out on mana drain on Hollow One. Again, I don't think I care about a Hollow One though. I'm gonna have a Lurrus going at some point here. Prismatic Ending, not very good against Hollow One though. I think I'm gonna go with Brainstorm. Oh, I'm glad I did that. Get rid of this card and this card. And then I'll go Saga by Lurrus. I still have Drain and Containment Priest up and Force. And then I'll have Lurrus Lantern. think I can just take 4. Don't think that matters too much. Unmask. All right, so I'm gonna go and drain this. The only thing I can really lose to is this Mana Crypt, but I don't think it should be relevant. I got 4 mana to work with here. Can do lots of cool things, but for now, let's get Lurrus in play. Let's get Soul Guide Lantern in play. And then let's make a construct. And I don't think there's any reason to hold this, so. This construct's already big enough to block the hollow one. There's an imp. Don't have a bobble in my deck because my deck has so much zeros. But I do have Needle coming, so. Yeah, they're out of here. There's no way they're gonna race this board state. All right, so we have the ability to win these post-board matches. I'm just so worried that, you know, like game 3 here, we're on the draw against a 7-card hand. Are we gonna have enough? Is there a wide enough range of draws that like get us through? All right, all right, all right. The sand does not do it. They also kept 7 again. Ah, they're supposed to mulligan. This hand has a force to protect ancestral swords, but no lands. I don't think we're allowed to keep this. If this hand had a Lorien revealed, maybe you could keep it. But all right, yeah. I don't know if this does it on the draw, but I'm gonna get rid of flow state, and I'm gonna get rid of force and keep the 2 hate cards, misstep, ancestral, and force. Shambling Shell, Bloodghast. Meticulous Archive. I think I'm supposed... They have so many ways to recur Bazaar that... Well, we have a mental misstep. We have a force for vigor. I think I'm just supposed to strip mine this thing. That's so bad. That's so bad. What if they have second Bazaar? I have to just play Needle. I just have to play Needle. Like, what if they have second Bazaar? Oh, I'm so bad at this game. Sorry, chat. I threw this one. I just need to play Needle. I was like, well, I have like great answers to the ways they return it. I should just play Needle. But the problem is that this particular archive is tapped, so I can't even play Needle on the follow-up here either. I have to draw Mox or something. Drain. Oh, it's so bad. I actually threw this game in a spot that we definitely could have won. I had force miss. Yeah, I just had force up. I just need to take the Needle. I threw this game. This game was probably winnable. Now I'm super dead. I have to Ancestral into something really strong to get out of this spot. I have to Ancestral into like Lantern. That's not enough. Yeah, this game was totally winnable too. That's so sad. They did have Vigor too. Yeah, but I had it covered, you know? The problem is now there are 9 damage of Icarids coming in to kill me, and I can't actually survive. Oh, they had double Vigor. Okay, so I was just never winning no matter what I chose to do at any point in this game. Noted. Okay, cool. I mean, that is kind of the thing I was worried about. Yeah, cool. Okay. Yeah, not much to say here. Like I said, I made the wrong choice on turn 1, but the choice I made had no relevance to the game because my opponent had 2 Bazaars, 2 Vigors, 2 green cards. So it's tough to beat Dredge on the draw against a 7-card keep. No matter what kind of hate you're gonna have, it's gonna be challenging. If I had like a Tormod's Crypt or a Soul Guide Lantern, that is the kind of card that might have gotten me out of this game, but I only have access to one of those. A Containment Priest would have required, us not to have mulligan as much, so we can at least go to the next round with the knowledge that our huge mistake did not matter. Onward and upward. All right, time to recover. No tilting allowed. We're going to do the best we can with what we've got. This hand is a classic example of why Library of Alexandria is not considered to be a strong card in modern Vintage, because a lot of staying alive is 2-for-1ing yourselves with forces. So although this is a classic on the draw Library of Alexandria hand, immediately start drawing cards, if I have to force a spell on turn 1, my library is going to be off for the foreseeable future. Now, if I don't have to force a spell on turn 1, this hand's actually a great library hand because the library can recoup the card disadvantage of force. The problem is my opponent just played a Mishra's Workshop, which means I'm very likely to cast a spell that requires me to pitch cards here to survive. We'll see, though. Could be wrong. The One Ring, which is basically a better Library of Alexandria on turn 1. I will negate this one pitching Flow State. Does my opponent have Force Blue card backup as a Jewel player? So you can see my Library of Alexandria is already going to shit. So now I have to make a choice of whether I want to pitch Mindbreak Trap so I can still have a blue source after all of this, or do I want to hold Mindbreak Trap in case my opponent has second blue card force? I'm gonna not play around second blue. I actually think it's better for me to counter the ring than to negate the ring. The reason is because Karn can get the ring back. So I'm going to force the ring pitching Mindbreak Trap. My opponent did not have a second blue card force, so I get to keep my Lorien revealed. Yeah. So I will play Library, which is a dead colorless land, and a Soul Ring. And hopefully my opponent doesn't go land Jewel, and then I'm dead. Silly me for having only 2 forces. Or second ring. Ring will do it too. Vexing Bauble. If they had that before the One Ring, then pretty good. Do they have a... Oh, they're going to immediately crack it. That's interesting. am I going to Lorien Revealed here? I can really wait and hold on to this and see if something changes, because I have all this excess colorless mana anyways. What does that change? Does it change anything? Not particularly. Do I want to be able to brainstorm right now? What could I gain by brainstorming right now? I would draw up to 4 and put down to 2, and I could have what pair of 2 cards that would make me happy about brainstorming right now? Not much. So I think what I'm going to do is Meticulous Archive. And then I don't actually think I want a Tundra, even though it pushes me to Lurrus. Because what I'm going to do is just going to play Mana Crypt out and buy Lurrus. Lurrus is an extra card anyways, and this is advancing the game. But like I said, I don't have anything to use for my Lurrus, so I didn't think keeping like another Tundra to play Lurrus matters that much. All right, they have no more land follow-up, so they probably have a 6-mana Jewel in their hand. So that is actually a reason to get Lurrus in play, so you can attack and steal Jewel if they somehow bricked after they played a Jewel. Not a very convincing line. I drew Island, which does not cast Lurrus. So I guess I will brainstorm and try to find something of value here. Probe, Negation, Lorien Revealed. No ability to hard cast. So what I can do is just put these back. I want to play Island. But I want to be able to like negate to Lorien Revealed after. Lorien Revealed might get me back up to library at some point. Maybe I should have just kept that Tundra. I can only keep 3 cards. So I think the answer is Lurrus and Lorien Revealed back, hold open, pitch cast Negation, and play Island. Very odd. So if I draw Lorien Revealed next turn, I can get up to 5 cards, which is not exactly getting there to library, but maybe someday we'll get there. Be pretty cool. Just reading conversations in the Discord. People are having some interesting conversations that do kind of directly relate to this style of deck. What do we got? Didn't hit a land, but has now drawn a spell that they can cast? No. All right, we're going to go to our next turn here. I am a little bit worried about the mana crypt in this deck, but we shouldn't have too much of a problem. I'm going to cast Lorien Revealed. Draw 3. Okay. None of these are blue cards. I am at 5 cards, so I'm still not at library. But if next turn I draw stock up or I draw flow state, I will be at library. So I think what I'm going to do here is hold all of these cards in my hand. I already have 2 lands in play. And those aren't the lands that cast Lurrus, but I don't think I need to cast Lurrus. Now, if I have to pitch cast Negation, my whole plan of getting back on library doesn't really work. But if I draw another blue counter spell, at some point I can just hard cast Negation if I'm allowed. My opponent keeps missing mana. They hit Saga. So not only do they not miss mana, but they also found one that's a threat. They don't have a follow-up? What the hell's in their hand? I don't understand. But we can play through that. A road. Okay, I'm gonna probe, see what's in my opponent's hand, and also get me maybe towards a draw 2 to get onto library. My opponent's hand is Force, Manifold Key, P.O. Time Walk. That is the most jewel hand I've ever seen. Okay, so does that change anything from my perspective? I don't think so. I think I want to get on Library and then get like Lurrus Lotus down. So I think I just need to wait one more turn here. As long as my opponent doesn't draw blue land, we're in decent shape. If they draw blue land, we probably just lose on the spot. It's a Time Walk Saga. What'd they draw? Just key coming down. It's fine. It does make a bunch of mana. Unfortunately, they do usually play a basic for a road. One thing our deck doesn't have is like Stony Mane because we were playing so much artifact mana. Something to consider though. All right, well, we are back on Library momentarily here. I've also won all of my crit flips. Stock up. So I'm gonna draw with Library. Then I'm gonna cast Stock up. Okay, take Sword, Stock up. And then I'm gonna play my land and my Lotus. And then I'm gonna play my Lurrus. Wonder if this will get forced. Force pitching PO. I think we can just get back off Library. I don't exactly know how good this negation is going to be anyways, because they can get Vexing Bauble. They can also get Time Walk. What I can do here is I can go Mox, stock up. We can see if we can find our own Time Walk. We didn't. We found Drain, though. Drain Pearl actually sounds extremely interesting here. And then I can play the Lotus from my yard and the Pearl, and I have access to Drain and a removal spell. The problem is I don't have a payoff for Drain. But our deck is full of flow states and stock up, so it shouldn't be that bad, right? All right, construct. They can either get Vexing Bauble or they can get like Lotus to cast Time Walk, or maybe Island to cast Sapphire to cast Time Walk. Sapphire's probably better, so they can get towards a PO. Again, I don't want to erode because I don't want to give them a basic island. I think their deck usually plays at least one basic island. But there's not a whole lot of reason to not just Swords this. I guess if I wanted to hold a Swords for like a Metamorph on my Lurrus. But I can still erode that. PO? The One Ring. Certainly can't let that resolve. Drain it. I really hope I draw like a Wan Shi Tong, huh? Alright. I have still not lost any mana crit flips. I drew another counter spell. So I have actual factual nothing to do with my drain mana. It's kind of a thing I was worried about. I think what I'm gonna do, I mean, I could erode this at this point and get in. I can only cast so many spells. Oh, they don't have a basic island. Even better. Greedy. Start offsetting the life loss of Mana Crypt if I had lost any life. Time walk to start. Be very selective with my force here because it needs to get me to my next. It's gotta get me to my next. My next draw spell. Another One Ring with Time Walk back up after. Oh, I'm super dead here because this means I have to counter the One Ring. They Time Walk and then they PO. I mean, the only way to really stop this is to have Stony Silences because my opponent drew one land this entire game. They've drawn all action. And they can PO here for 3, and nothing I can really do about it. Or a better thing would have been if I had untapped and drawn Stock Up or Time Walk. Stock Up or Flow State or Lorien. I have lots of draw spells with this much mana. I wonder if I go back to the Stock Up I did cast. I could have chosen another Stock Up, right? So I could have gone... Instead of going Pearl and being able to erode, I could have had a Stock Up for the next turn. That was probably the mistake that cost me the game. I didn't think I would run out of action, but it makes sense that I can run out of action, right? I would have had to deal with an extra construct, but like that's fine compared to like if I have another Stock Up resolving, that's totally fine. It was like a lot about my opponent drew ring back to back here, right? Like drawing ring into ring meant I had to counter. That's part of the problem. But this is a good example of if you make one mistake in your game, you can easily just lose on the spot. This is a PO for 4. I don't know that this loses me a game on the spot. They have a land drop, but they don't have like the best mana situation. We'll see. Okay, never mind. That's really good. Mana Crypt is a sick enabler here. Again, I don't really care about the Trinisphere, but Soul Ring, Sapphire, now they can like find more POs or something. But if I had to, I do think this is still my fault because I chose incorrectly on my one Stock Up that I cast. Just kind of wild, but I don't believe I would ever have been able to stay on Library, so I do think casting the Stock Up and getting the Lurrus down made sense, but you have to be very precise with your play in when you play this kind of controlling deck, because in Vintage, if one spell resolves, it all goes to shit. That Saga draw was particularly harmful for our chances of winning as well. A reason to, you know, theoretically play more Wasteland effects in your deck. Tezzeret. I mean, we're looking super dead here. Untap into a PO or untap into a Trinisphere? Or untap into the 4th ring? Regardless, I am in trouble. I had a Stock Up, right? I had a Stock Up. I didn't think I was going to run out of action, but I don't know why I thought that, right? I didn't have another draw spell. How many Stock Ups am I at? I'm 2 Stock Ups deep. I'm 2 Loriens deep, and I'm 0 Flow States deep. We have a lot of draw in our deck. Is my opponent looking to go up to Jewel here? I mean, if they have another PO, oh, Metamorph. They're going to Metamorph my Lurrus and buy back Bobble. That's fine. That's not a huge deal. Turns off our Lurrus Lotus Loop, but if we can get to our turn and cast a Chain of Flow States, we can still win this game. Though a Tezzeret Ultimate might be a problem. We've already used our Erode. Maybe I was just like way too aggressive with my attacks and my things. They didn't have any action in hand and they drew ring ring, so like it's kind of on me though. I've also been very lucky here and I've won basically every single mana crypt flip. Here's my flow state. Saga, Lorien, negation. Definitely want Saga. How many... Can I cast Lorien still? I think so. Vexing Bubble actually doesn't stop my Lotus anymore because it's Trinisphere, but my thing will cost 3. Blue, 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 red, Lorien. Wan Shi Tong, Swords, Prismatic Ending. Wow. Okay. That's really cool. So my opponent has no action either. They're on 0 cards. I can Swords the Lurrus, remove the Tezzeret if I have enough mana. To do that, I will have to make a different color here. Oh, I can't use both because I won't have enough colors because I used the red instead of the library. Okay, another mistake. If I had kept the red mana instead of the library mana, I would have had 3 colors for prismatic ending easier. Because now I don't have 3 colors, so I have to attack the Tezzeret and hope I don't die. That's super sad. Wow, like these are just the smallest mistakes, like tapping red mana instead of colorless mana. Incredible. Okay, at the very least, I'm supposed to Swords this Lurrus. And I can still have Wan Shi Tong up for a Tezzeret search if that's what happens. It's so bad though. Like it's so bad. Okay. Let's see how this goes. They also have a bobble activation, so I played this game very poorly. Not even very poorly, just like slightly poorly. And the problem is this deck slightly poorly means you lose. Because you don't play powerful cards. I might have enough mana to power through a Tezzalt with a big Wan Shi Tong. It's possible. I also have constructs, so maybe I'm okay with the Tezzeret ulti actually. Maybe we will end up ending this Trinisphere. Untap. Yeah, I don't have a counterspell here. What I drew 3 random cards. Just untapping. What does that mean? Just untapping. Maybe that's what they want to do. Okay. Should I play a Wan Shi Tong as a 2/2? I don't kill Tezzeret. I think the answer is just no. I draw 1 card. Yeah, I'm just gonna let that go. I want another flip. I've won so many flips. What's in my deck? Just counters, time walks. I think I should just cast a big Wan Shi Tong and see what kind of cards I draw. Draw 3. Hopefully that leaves me with enough to cast cards that I draw. I guess it would have been better to just play it for 2 then. Or for 1 draw. Maybe not. Draw 3. I'm just like thinking like Time Walk, Counterspell, Mana Drain. Perfect. Drain is perfect. Drain is the perfect card here. Do I want to remove the Trinisphere? If I remove the Trinisphere for 3 mana, I'll have enough to play Drain and make a Construct. Whereas if I don't, I will have enough to play Drain and make a Construct. So what's the harm? I will have to use... I will have to use the Lotus, where if I use my Lotus now and make a Construct now, I can rebuy Lotus. So maybe I should just do that. Maybe I should do red, white, blue, prismatic ending this Trinisphere. Red, blue, white. Done. I don't know that that changes anything, though. Does this change anything? I feel like this doesn't change anything. Is a PO in response? It's kind of bad for me if there's a PO in response. Oh, it's an Otawara, my Lurrus in response. Okay, that doesn't really matter. Because I just replay Lurrus and I get back my Lotus. And it's all the same. I still have Drain. They get to keep 3 counters on their Tezzeret. I still have Drain and Mega Construct, so that might just be lethal. 3, 10, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's lethal. I have a lethal attack next turn. What the hell? Oh man, my 2 punts didn't actually cost me the game. That's crazy. Oh, okay, we'll take that. I don't know how we made it through there, but I have some consigns, I have a needle, and I have Stony Silence. So we have some great cards to bring in for this matchup, and we already have 8 forces and 2 drains and 2 traps. So the things we can do though is we can take out Prismatic Ending. We will still want to have swords because of their sideboard creature plan, but we can take out Probe and Misstep and an island. I mean, realistically, we should probably take out Library of Alexandria because that card is just never going to be online on the draw at all. We were able to get back to it in that game for 1 draw, but like it's just not worth the opportunity cost and a non-blue land. I think I'm going to keep in this many swords, and a road seems better than swords because I can actually hit Tezzeret and Karn. Is that what I want to do? And Dress Down is nice for sure. Okay, this looks good. Okay, I have no force in my opening hand against Jewel, but I have incredible mana and Drain. Probably has to get mulliganed, which is insanity. But it probably just has to be mulliganed, right? Like, what hand does this realistically beat? It just doesn't realistically beat any good Jewel hands. This hand is much stronger. Much better hand. Turn 1 force, turn 2 consign, turn 3 Stony Silence, or turn 0 force, turn 1 consign, turn 2 Stony Silence. Much better hand. Monolith, sure. Didn't even have to force. Okay, I guess my drain hand would have been fine then. My bad. My bad. Black. Colorless. The 1 ring. Consign for 1 mana. I think it's still worth it. Even if I have Stony Silence. If they force back here, I'll let it resolve. Okay, perfect. So this is like a great sequence here because I got the force out of their hand for 1 card. They're going to rebuy, you know, draw with ring here, but I'm just untapping with a Stony Silence, which is going to make the ring turned off anyways. So. And I'll have force back up for my Stony Silence, and they'll have 1 less force for me. I could have, of course, not consigned at all, but I think this plays better. I buy infinite time by consigning there anyways. What is this? Ancestral? There, unfortunately, opponent, you have to respond to Ancestral before the ring makes you protected. Looked like they had Ancestral. If they drew the Ancestral off the ring, there's nothing they could have done. But if they had the Ancestral, they can respond to the ring's protection. The good news is they have an Ancestral still, so they have a spell that matters. The bad news is they have 1 blue mana. And they're slowly dying to a ring, and we'll eventually die to constructs here. If I don't draw a land, then I get 1 less construct, but that's okay. I'm just going to force this pitching trap. I think flow state is more likely to be cast sooner than trap. Swords is good against a Masticore answer off of Workshop. And like I said, I probably should have done this after. I actually think I'm going to keep that on top. So I wish I had done that after. Flow state. I don't have a sorcery. Oh, I don't have a sorcery. Oh. Okay. That's unfortunate. No, so what I should have done is actually done archive first. So my archive could have hit a sorcery so that I could have turned on flow state. So I actually did end up doing it correctly in the end. I drew a Lotus, which is pretty bad. I got a Thing, which is pretty bad. I guess I will play a Needle on the 1 ring, just in case they pop off my Stony Silence. Play an extra artifact. I don't have Force Up, and I have Swords, which is something, but this is not a slow clock. This is a pretty fast clock, so. Let's see. Artifact. I mean, a Tolarian Academy is always their best draw when Stony Silence comes down. It can definitely help them get out of it. But a Workshop into like a Masticore is another one that can work. There's Tolarian Academy. Oh, shit. Do you have a Masticore? No. Looks like they have a Metamorph on my construct, though. 5/5. How do they always draw it? They always draw the Tolarian Academy. It's impressive. All right, got my Force Blue card now. I'm going to Swords this construct and get in. They only have 1 card left in their hand. We do have 1 Strip Mine in our deck. We can draw 2 for Academy. Maybe this deck just has to play 4 Wastelands, which sounds awful, but maybe it just has to. Wan Shi Tong, that'll help a little bit as well. I could also just Lorien Revealed into a land so that I can get towards Lurrus. That's probably better. Wan Shi Tong's only a 1/1 anyways. Maybe it changes the clock, though. I'm doing 4 damage a turn. So if I played a Wan Shi Tong this turn, I would have done... So I put a Wan Shi Tong this turn, I do 4 damage, and then they go to take 5, and then do... Yeah, actually, it was wrong. It's fine. How was I supposed to know? What, do you want me to do the math myself here? Yeah, I'll just force this one. If they have a follow-up like Broken Spell, so be it. Just a ring to stop the clock. Okay, so it wouldn't have changed it. Yay! Yay! I'll buy this cap. I'll attack because it's fun. What they draw? Vexing Bauble. No problem. Time Walk. Okay, that might win the game. If I draw an artifact that... I guess it has to be a 1-mana artifact, so it's pretty unlikely. They're out of here. Okay. Nice. I would say that our deck is quite good against Jewel. The reason it's not like the best deck against Jewel is it's not so many Stony Silences. Like this deck could play as many as 4 Stony Silences, so. But our deck should be very good against Jewel, and even with a couple little mistakes along the way, we got there. Not bad. Okay, now we're on to round 4. We're up against J-Ben, who just trophied with Nadu, so that could be pretty interesting. If they are on Nadu, having a Swords of Plowshares is pretty important. I'm down to keep this hand. Don't know how good negation will be for us, though. We could definitely use some more mana. Kind of hoping for a 1-mana creature that we could have Prismatic Endinged, but... Ah, we got Wastelanded. Well, that's basically the worst thing that could have possibly happened to us. Not much I can do besides mulligan for that. Ah, I can also just draw more lands. Never close. All right, what do you got for me? Tundra Trop. So it does look like Nadu. And there's a Lavinia. Sure thing. I think that means I am incentivized to get a Meticulous Archive here and try to hit to my second land. Sapphire doesn't do it. I'll just Swords this and see if it resolves. If it doesn't, we lose. We just had a really rough draw versus what's going on. The Wasteland was a big issue. And there's not a lot I could have done besides mulligan my hand. Yeah, I got negated. I could have played around that, but... And then I'm playing into Flusterstorms and stuff, so... If we don't get second Wastelanded. Saga, that's just about as good. We did get rid of a Hull Breacher, but our deck doesn't play into Hull Breacher too poorly with only like Wan Shi-Tong, Ancestral, and Brainstorm are the only draws. We did not draw another land, so that probably means we're just dead. Another Hull Breacher. Okay, so probably not Nadu. Probably just like Bant big stuff. Bant mid-range stuff. Caracas. All right, let's just get out of here. We have no chance of winning this game anymore. Unfortunately, our hand did not line up against Wasteland. The good news is we have a basic Plains we can bring in. That should help a little bit. We can do some fetching and play around it. Probably going to bring in another Swords. There seems like a lot of their things are creature-based. And then maybe we'll trim down on the negations because, like I said, their things look like they're creature-based. And yeah, I'll try just doing that. I don't want to go deeper than that. Maybe our deck could play Petrified Hamlet because we're not playing Wasteland and we're weak to Bazaar. Maybe something worth considering. Didn't ever get to test that, so. All right, lots of options here. I think I like just casting Stock Up, getting a sorcery in my yard, and then upkeep Ancestraling. If they want to negate this, then so be it. That's fine. We're hoping that we can like power through their forces with our draw engines, so. It's tough to negate this with an open strand. They're just going to force it. That's fine. They forced pitching Mental Misstep. That's fantastic for us. And I will just fetch a basic island here. And like I said, we are now instant and sorcery. But we don't actually have a second land. Okay. How does that... Okay, so it is Nadu. It's just we hit the disruptive elements. Okay. We'll just go with a Swords on their turn. Strip Mine. Emerald. Pass. So I have a Hull Breacher. can get another island. Obviously, if they want to like cut me off white, that works, but we don't actually have anything to cast off white at the moment anyways. Ooh, a drain actually changes a lot of things here. We'll see if they have a Hull Breacher. They have nothing and they pass. Interesting. Pearl. Strip mine. All right. I mean, if I don't hit a land, I hit a land anyways. Okay. I with the no strip pass, I don't think I'm supposed to advance if I'm missing land drops, then so be it. Nomads Encore. Okay, that's a 1/1. Got a Nadu? Not doing it? Full Breacher. Alright, I'll drain you. Now we're gonna untap with the ability to use our drain mana and cast Stock Up and Flow State. That seems game winning. Yeah, maybe there should be more Flow States in our deck, or maybe there should be more drains in our deck. Yeah, I'll grab a Swords and Soul Ring. Time Walk, Flow State, Saga, Flow State, play my Saga, go to my next turn. Pretty nice. This is the deck working as intended. I like it. I like it a lot. Let's cast another Flow State here. Interesting. Yep. Okay. This time our deck did the thing. Probably want to have access to Needle, seeing as they are on the stuff, and then take away this more and more negation. All right, I think our deck should be a pretty good matchup, though. We have lots of counter magic and tons of removal. Meticulous Archive. No Force of Will. No removal. I think this hand's kind of bad. This one is no Lorien. I mean, this one I think I'm keeping, though. It at least gives me ways to play the game forward. I think we should get rid of this Ruby. Yeah, it's not great. We can at least try to like get a drain going or something. We hit an emerald. I can't say I like that. All right, I will erode your delighted halfling. Yeah, not good. Not good. What? There's Collector Roof? I hope this all works out for me. All right, safe. Just hit an island here and cast Stock Up, and we're probably back in it. Easy game, easy life. Okay. I like Swords Flow State. That's pretty sweet. As long as our opponent doesn't go like Nadu and Nomads here off of our extra land we gave them. Caracas. Nadu. Yep, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. Library. Let's flow state. Meticulous Archive, Lorien, Wanshitong. I guess I will go Meticulous Archive, Wanshitong. And get a Meticulous Archive in play. And bin a Thundra. Can't do much about this Nadu with a Karakas in play, unfortunately. I can ambush it with a Wanshitong at some point. Need a little more mana for that, though. Oh, well, look, a strip mine on Karakas. That's pretty good. That's good. They go for the Nadu to draw a card. I'll probably Swords the Nadu. Oh, actually, I don't think I will. Because I have access to Trap, Hardcast. Though I also have access to Wanshitong on Misty Rainforest, so it's a little tough. I'm a little choked on mana here. I guess... I guess that's fine. I can Swords it at any point. Take 3 to start here, because I kind of want to hardcast Trap on the Nadu. And if that didn't work, I guess that's really bad for me, but... Another Flooded Strand is not bad. Guess I'm gonna Swords this thing. I think I'm gonna hold on to the Wanshitong. Or do I want to make my opponent I think I'm just supposed to use my mana efficiently here. They're gonna fetch in response. Makes sense, but they weren't really fetching, so I don't think I was like gaining very much by waiting. I think the tempo loss was too bad. They have a Hull Breacher. That'd be kind of annoying. Another draw. Now I have Lurrus and Swords. Can wait, I guess, but what am I really protecting myself from? I guess I'm protecting myself from like both pieces of the combo at the same time. I think I'd rather play this and be able to draw into like Lorien Revealed and stuff and be able to cast them. If my opponent hits me with the combo, they hit me with the combo, I think. They're just off it. I don't know, that's a little early, but I guess I have flow states and stuff coming down the pipe here. Okay, I mean, they are probably dead to that flow state. Flow state hitting Lotus, Wanshitong, and Drain. Yeah, all right. I mean, deck working as intended. Okay, here we go. 5th and final round. Honestly, quite a reasonable league, all things considered. Some growing pains with me figuring out how to play the game, but you know, that's every match of Magic ever. So we have a Lurrus mirror here, it looks like, which is exciting. We haven't had one of those yet. We won't know what kind of Lurrus deck they're on. Our hand, unfortunately, doesn't have mana, though, so gotta put that one back. This one has mana, but again, exposed to Wasteland, so hopefully they're not on Frog. But our hand is quite good against Frog in the fact that we have 2 pieces of removal. I'm gonna just get rid of the Dress Down and play towards our stock ups and our removal and hope that's enough. We don't have a lot of choice here, unfortunately, but if they are on, you know, a combo element or oriented Lurrus deck, we could attack their mana with Prismatic Ending. Ah, they are wastelanding us. Okay. It's not good. already. I mean, it's not like those are fetch lands, so doesn't change too much. We'll always have those in our deck, but I guess I'm gonna go after this gem. Another land. We would love to draw a fetch here, get a basic, and get our stock up spell. Oh, they have Ancestral. I assume they're going to fetch Basic Island here because they're worried about me being on the mirror. Yeah, that's a good one. Well, we can't get Spell Pierce now if we draw Basic Island. Sad. This is the second game we played against Wasteland where we kept a hand that had Natural Tundra and immediately lost. I don't know that there's a lot I can do about that other than... I mean, I have 4 Lorien reveals that I can use my, off my Moxen. I don't know. Did they brainstorm lock themselves? Bowmaster? Oh, Demonic Tutor. Yeah, I'll force it. Okay. I won't force it. My bad. Good Spell Pierce. They're just gonna get a land here? Saga, maybe? Tundra. Frog. Sword your frog before you have negation online. Missile misstep! Yeah. I mean, there's not much to do when you get wastelanded and then ancestraled. Kind of just throws the whole game. I'm gonna concede. I don't think there's a lot of reason to play this game out, sadly. Not taking a bunch of frog hits. Again, like I said, sometimes Ancestral just ruins your blue mirrors. Actually, I might have like done this maybe 8,000 times in this video where I've said, like I've said, and reference to a thing I haven't said in this video, which is maybe not helpful. I have said before, but I haven't said during the video. Does it count? I don't know. I don't really like the idea of bringing in Needle for Wasteland. So that kind of ruins that. Though I think a Soul Guide Lantern is pretty reasonable. I don't really like negation in this matchup at all, so I at least board a bunch of negations out. Do I like negation more than Needle? I think so. Again, it's just about keeping a hand that plays around Wasteland effectively. And understanding that and fetching for that. And like just our opening hand that we kept just didn't play into Wasteland very well. But this hand can. This hand does make me play with turn 1 tap land though. Which is fine. If my opponent takes a turn wastelanding, that's not a big deal. I will definitely keep that Lorien Reveal on the top of my library so I can use it with Emerald if I need to. Fetching basic plains or basic island is actually a cost here with the swords and the Wanchitong and the drain. Kind of part of the reason I didn't want to go too deep on drain. Pearl. Wasteland. And Stony Silence. Interesting. Wasn't expecting that. I think what I'm going to do is fetch a basic island and play a Wanchitong. So I'm not going to be able to hold up and drain anyways. So this feels like a decent time, whereas if they have a fetch land, I can get a Wanchitong in. This makes a lot of sense to me. Where next turn I could like archive into another island. Oh, they have strip mine. Okay. Playing around the basics. Playing doesn't matter. Nothing matters. I could have held everything up and at least Lorien revealed for the second basic, but I got my basic strip mined. Non-fetch land for my opponent. Plains for me. Plains is actually fine. Normally, I would say Plains not a great draw in this scenario, but because I have Lorien revealed, I can go get that basic island and we can play this game out. Swords on my Wanchitong? Oh, island cycling. Okay. I draw. It's pretty good. Thank you, Wanchitong. Yeah. Seal of Cleansing. I wonder what kind of deck they thought I was on. This is fine. Doesn't really do anything here. Ooh, wrong one. Let's go get a basic island. Another Lorien. I like our spot. Don't think I want to cast Ancestral into negation territory. Look for a better window. Maybe try to get Drain open. We'll see. Seal my emerald. You got it. I don't know if that matters very much. Wasteland. All right, played around that one. I'm just going to go get another land that gets wastelanded. Did they have a Wan Chitong? Or maybe they have an Ancestral they're trying to resolve? Ah. Yeah, I mean... Didn't actually have a counterspell for that, but I could have maybe Ancestral in response if I had gone with this mana. Should I have done that? I guess I should have done that. All right. That's a learning mistake again. I didn't really consider this spell in particular, so... We're still pretty far away from... I think I'm just going to cast Stock Up with this mana. I will take Flooded Strand, and I'll take Mental Misstep. Okay, I mean, I still like our spot. I just wasn't really prepared for that. But now I have so much mana. I have Ancestral, I have Counter Magic, I have Swords. I think we're in a great spot now. Hopefully. We'll see. Yeah, I got Wastelanded. What else you got? Frog? All right, so I'm gonna go to their turn. So if they want to tap out for a hard cast negation, I think that's fine. Okay. Not interested. Blue, blue, flow state. Okay, I'm gonna just drain this. They want a spell pierce. I have a mental misstep. I actually don't have a great way to spend this mana. I guess Lurrus. I guess I can brainstorm into it or something. They have 2 cards left in their hand. Let's just start with Ancestral. It seems better for our brainstorm. They're off it. Okay. Yeah, so they're on some kind of Esper flow state version. Does that change anything? Not really. I was really happy they brought in all that artifact hate. That was nice. I mean, we do have a artifact base. We saw. Did they? What? I just can't remember what they saw in game 1. They see stock up, maybe. Not sure. Maybe they just assumed I was on PO. I can't remember. I have no memory. Negation instead of force here is not ideal, but seems acceptable as far as hands go. We do have access to Lorien. Maybe I'm supposed to negate that. I could actually see it. Can we be serious? I just want to play the game, man. Let me play the game. It's tough to beat the jammed Ancestral. We'll see what happens. But we're super far behind, unfortunately. I don't know. We might want to hold our Lorien Reveal to cycle to shuffle with Brainstorm. We'll have to see. I mean, triple on color Mox. She cast Stony Silence. Lorien revealed. I'm just gonna get rid of this Brainstorm, I think. Okay. That worked. Flow State. So I can actually cast Flow State here by cycling my Lorien revealed. Not bad. I'll take... Do I want another Lorien revealed? I think I want Swords Lorien revealed. I think Trap is a little too hard. Maybe the Trap would have been good last turn, but now it's a little late. Let's see if we get Wastelanded. Didn't get Wastelanded, just full passed. Oh, they're buying Lurrus. I think I'm gonna Lorien revealed again. Cycling for another Tundra. Okay, I mean this seems fine. But Bowmaster? No. Are they passing? Passing is fine. I'll play on a Mana Crypt. I'll buy Lurrus. I'll wait on the casting of Lurrus as well. That's a lot of mana. I think I'm just going to cast this Wan Shi Tong and see if I can tax my opponent's mana a little bit. If they have a Bowmaster, it's bad play, I guess, but if it's just swords, then I don't care too much. Still draw a card, right? Or do I not draw cards? They have a Bowmaster too? What is this? Oh, another dig in response. Okay, yeah. I mean, I have no counter magic, so maybe that's like a sign I should be playing more drains. So their hand is Lurrus, plus 3 cards, plus 2 off of dig. I mean, it's not a great place to be in life. And they did exile my bird. My bird did draw me a card, and I drew a drain. Okay. And I drew Ancestral. Seems like a reasonable time to Ancestral while they're all tapped out and I have stuff. I guess that's true. They can just keep in negation. Unfortunately, I don't think I can do anything with this drain mana. I want a Meticulous Archive for my Lurrus. I think I'm just losing that. I mean, I released Resolved Ancestral, I guess. Normally I would buy Lurrus with the drain mana. Alright. I have a lot of removal. I have a counter spell. Yeah, I guess that's fine. Yep. I guess I'm not getting Meticulous Archive. Oh. See. It's not great for me. It's not great for them either, though. All right, you're gonna play Lurrus or hold up counter magic? Oh, flow state. Yeah, they have just 2 instants though, so just a anticipate here. So their hand is one card and Lurrus. This looks like a decent spot. Lorien revealed. I'm probably gonna hold. Am I gonna hold? Am I gonna hold that Lorien revealed? No, I think I want to build out my mana. Or yeah. Yeah. I guess there's like nothing I can actually play off of a Meticulous Archive trigger that matters besides Stress Down. All right, I got my Lurrus in play. Is that good or bad? Does it matter? Flow state. That one is turned on because of the other flow state. All right. I have those cards too in my deck. Stock ups and flow states. Frog. I'm not playing around days. Missed up. Missed up. Frog down. Lurrus +1 in their hand, and we have an erode for Lurrus still. They have no creatures in the yard because we've exiled them all. Saga Gaming. I have stock ups and flow states I can draw to. Also, two more Lorien, or one more Lorien revealed. Time Walk. Pass. Trying to find a wasteland for my Saga. They wastelanded a Tundra in the other turn. Saga tokens are going to be good here. Here's Lurrus. I'll erode Lurrus. Get a basic if they have one. They do. Cool game. Wan Shi Tong. Probe. Okay. I have to make construct here, so I'm really not looking to play Wan Shi Tong. Can't draw a card off this anyways. Yeah, it's a good treasure cruise. Into a brainstorm. I have to be careful that I don't run out of threats. I have Lurrus, and I have this Wan Shi Tong, and I have Saga tokens. Fuck. I found it. Still get a construct at least. Yeah, I think I'm gonna wait on the Wan Shi Tong. Could be wrong. Stock up. Force Prismatic Ending. Trap. Take Force Prismatic Ending. And then I don't think I'm using my Prismatic Ending on Stony Silence, but I could. I have a Bowmaster. Fuck. So bad for me. That's like so bad. I just lost my other Wan Shi Tong. So I have to win the game with this construct and this Lurrus against my opponent who just drew 7 cards last turn. Wow, they island cycled? Or why'd they island cycle? I guess they had to break their brainstorm. Demonic Tutor. Removal, I assume? Like long goodbye, maybe? They have to kill a thing here. They can play a blocker, but I have a removal spell for it. I wonder if I played this game poorly. Should I just not attack with my Lurrus that turn after they did all those things? I should just only attack with Construct? Maybe. Looks like another Bowmaster. I think I can't attack with this Lurrus here. Okay, well, I played around that one. Okay, I have a meticulous archive, so I'm gonna play this. Flow state, yeah. Oh, I'm super worried about this game. I think I pitched too many Wan Tongs to Force of Will. Frog? Seal of Cleansing, no, my construct. So do they have another Bowmaster? Dress down. That's actually nuts, right? So something I can actually cast with Lurrus. Okay, that hit. So I'll cast this in my main phase, so I can go to the graveyard and then come back on my end step. They have a negation, hard cast. Okay. They have one card left. They need an answer to Lurrus. Frog would do it, would trade. GG. Wow. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. I don't know. I think I played that a little too close to the edge there. Against like exile removal, maybe I just need to have more. I don't want to play any more threats than one Saga, two Wan Tong, and a Lurrus, but that one was pretty damn close. Maybe I need like some kind of scaling draw spell that can target my opponent, maybe. Something that like I can use to target myself in the early game, but then or maybe the answer is just like on a Snapcaster. I don't know. It was a solid 4-1 though. Like it was, I mean, we almost got the 5-0 if we had beaten that Dredge player, which is tough to ask. So, but this deck worked. Again, it's really hard. This time the again is it an actual again. It is so punishing, this kind of deck. You really can't make even the smallest errors, which makes it not a deck I particularly like conceptually or enjoy. I think your deck should give you free wins, and this deck gives you very few free wins. It can sometimes it can give you a free win in the fact that you like counter their things with traps and forces and then cast stock ups and flow states, but it's a very loose definition of free win. I like our sideboard in general. I think it answers the main core questions that are being posed by the format. We didn't get to bring a lot of those things in because of just the matchups we were playing against. We didn't bring in Serenity, right? But we brought everything else in besides Serenity, so actually pretty solid use of our sideboarding. It's interesting. The Seal of Cleansing might be a card you might want to put back in the sideboard. I could see that, though we do have Prismatic Endings, which a lot of players don't have, and a Road. So we have some answers, but we could put Seal of Cleansing in our sideboard instead of maybe one of the Serenities or something, if that's something that floats your boat. I liked the 4 Lorien reveals. The flow state was pretty much always on, so I think the 4 Lorien, 4 flow state, 4 stock up, full counter spell package worked. I think this removal package seemed fine. I was okay with it. The 2 drains were good. I don't know if like you're supposed to play more drains. They're very matchup specific. So something is to consider is maybe more drains, maybe like a third Wan Tong might help if you end up pitching both your Wan Tongs to Force of Will and have to win with just Construct plus Lurrus. Not sure. But I could have played that game differently and tried to like put my Wan Tong in play, but like Bowmaster was a pretty big concern for Wan Tong, which is I guess a pretty big concern overall. Though if your Wan Shitan gets Bowmastered, it means you can buy it back with Lurrus, so it's not the it's not the worst thing of all time. So it's possible you want this basic planes in the main. It's really hard to play basic planes when you're trying to play flow state, stock up, drain, that kind of thing. But maybe basic planes is more worthwhile than Library of Alexandria. That could be a true statement. Basic planes, being able to fetch basic planes might be worth it. Oh yeah, but I hope you enjoyed this. I think it was actually a pretty good league overall. The matches were really interesting and the deck functioned well. This is a type of archetype that boomers love, the classic draw. And it's not exactly draw go, because we are playing all these sorcery draw spells. So I guess it's not it's not exactly draw go. It's more of a modernized draw go, I would say. But it is, I would definitely argue, a full control deck and something that people will have been asking for. So hopefully you enjoyed this outing with full control in Vintage. More content on the YouTube channel every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'll see you then.